You know, in a world where artificial intelligence is getting smarter by the second, it makes you wonder, what does it really mean to be human anymore? And the big question, the one that keeps us up at night, is what could possibly make us irreplaceable? Well, today we're going to dive into a system designed to do more than just help us keep up. It's about unlocking a level of human potential that no algorithm, no matter how smart, can ever touch. And this, right here, this really just says it all. We are all facing this choice. People are calling this the compression age, and you can feel it, right? It's that feeling that the gap between what machines can do and what we can handle is just getting wider every single day. So, what do we do? For a lot of us, our day-to-day reality, well, it looks and feels a lot like this. Just pure overwhelm. We're drowning in information, notifications, demands. We might even be successful on paper, but behind the scenes, we are just completely and utterly exhausted. And that constant overwhelm leads to this feeling of fragmentation. Our attention is just shattered into a million pieces. Our focus is scattered. Our lives start to feel less like a story we're writing and more like a messy collection of tasks we have to get through. So what happens when you try to do more and more with the exact same amount of energy? You guessed it, burnout. You just hit a wall. Your physical battery, your mental battery, your emotional battery, they're all empty. You're just running on fumes. And maybe the scariest part of all this is a deep loss of purpose. You look up one day and realize you're climbing a ladder, but it's leaning against the wrong wall. You're executing on goals you didn't even choose, and you've lost touch with that one simple question. Why am I even doing this? But what if there's another way? What if the key to our upgrade isn't some new productivity app, but a timeless pattern that's literally woven into nature itself? That is the absolute core idea behind the human upgrade system. This isn't some theory a person came up with. It's based on natural law. And this is the belief that gives the whole system its power. Think about it. When you align your own growth with the very same forces that create galaxies and design DNA, you're not building on shifting sand anymore. You're building on solid rock. So how does this actually work? Well, at the heart of the system are 5 elemental quotients. And these are not just clever names. They're described as the actual architecture of creation itself, the blueprint for how everything and everyone operates. Everything, and I mean everything, starts here, with the void. This is your energetic intelligence. Think of it as your unique origin point, your core blueprint. The big idea here is that you don't have to go out and find your purpose. You just have to remember the one you were born with. This is what answers that huge question. Why am I here?
Next, you've got Earth. This is your physical quotient. This is the actual vessel, the container that holds your purpose. It's your real-world capacity to handle stress, to face challenges, and to just show up. Because let's be real, without a strong container, the greatest purpose in the world just evaporates.
Then we get to water, your intellectual quotient. Now, this has nothing to do with your test scores. This is about the frequency you operate on. It's your internal operating system, all the beliefs, the patterns, the stories you tell yourself that literally create the reality you experience every day. Fire is your emotional quotient, and this is all about mastering your state. It's your ability to generate the emotional energy you need on demand. It's about consciously choosing to shift from feeling drained and distracted into a state of absolute flow. You stop performing from brute force and start performing from an optimized state of being. And finally, we have wind, your spiritual quotient. This is where your deep purpose from the void actually meets the real world. It's about taking that why and turning it into aligned, strategic action. This is all about the scale and the quality of your impact. Okay, so you've got these 5 incredible elements, but how do they all fit together? Well, they come to life in a super practical, repeatable process. It's called the CREATE framework, and it shows you exactly how any vision, big or small, follows this natural creative cycle. So let's just walk through it real quick. First, you imagine. That comes from the void. That's where the vision is born. Then you declare it. You ground it in earth by giving it a clear outcome. Next, you train your mind. That's water, upgrading your skills and beliefs. Then you engage. You bring the energy, the flow state. That's fire. Then you execute with aligned action. That's wind. And here's the magic part. You review, which takes you right back to the void to upgrade your vision and start the whole cycle over again. But this time, you're on a higher level. All right, so this brings us back to the biggest question of all. How does mastering this system make you truly irreplaceable in a world dominated by AI?
Well, the answer lies in what these elements build inside you that an algorithm simply cannot replicate.
I mean, just look at this. An AI processes data. A human remembers their purpose from the void. An AI executes tasks. A human builds their capacity through Earth. An AI has no why. It just follows instructions. But a person who masters the system learns to master their state with fire and aligns every single action with their purpose through wind. That is the fundamental difference between a machine and an awakened human being. And that's why this matters so much right here, right now. This isn't just some nice philosophy. It's a practical roadmap to take back your agency in a world run by algorithms. It's about upgrading your own internal OS to focus on what truly makes you human, and therefore valuable. And you don't learn this in some weekend workshop. The system is delivered through something called a perpetual dojo. It's this living, breathing ecosystem where beginners and masters train side by side. It's this amazing blend of ancient structures, like belt progressions, with modern tools, community, and support, all designed for continuous growth.
You know, when you boil it all down, it really just comes to this. If AI is getting better every single day, we have to as well. In a world that's moving this fast, standing still is actually moving backward. The only real way forward is to commit to our own evolution, to our own human upgrade.
Which brings us right back to where we started, back to the void. This is the one question no AI can ever answer for you. It might just be the most human question there is. And answering it, then building a life around that answer, well, that's the ultimate upgrade. So, who were you born to be?